What's up, world? What's up, Zion? It's Prince Easy coming at you again, once more, as usual, on our little show and tell program that we have going on here, right? And I do have a couple of slides, and I mean a couple, I mean 60 or more, even, I don't know, but around there. And of course, we're gonna finally be up to date as to how things are going and how things will turn out, right? For the better or for the worse. Let's just say that, right? So, before we get to those slides of mine that I have picked to share with you, of course, I want to issue a fair use disclaimer, right, for all the material that's going to be shared here, right, under fair use, right? So, yeah, let's dive into it. Yeah, well, this is a pattern that I find rather familiar. If you go back after the 29th, you remember that? The same thing was circulating, right? It's not fair competition, it is rather unfair competition, and this is meant to create strife between the two governments, right? Because, of course, they have a whole plan. You shall understand me down the line, okay? Well, there is a lot going on, but there is a lot also that is going well. So, positivity, right? We are the bringers of said pressure and the release of said pressure. So, we need to take control of that and stop being pawns, most important. This is the level of corruption that is, yep. They're calling them choke points. Maybe this beast system created these choke points by denying a whole continent of essential technologies so as these choke points can be no more, right? They have to make it so hard, right, for Uganda to get funds. They have to make it so hard for Dangote to even exist. It's just scandal after scandal after scandal, which is obviously, from where I stand, it's clear sign of sabotage, right? Clear sign of sabotage. Why? Because again, they need choke points. These chokeholds, right? They are literally that, right? Leverage, right? This is leverage, right? Now let me ask you: are they diabolical enough to think of it that way? That's the question I'm giving you, right? And of course, keep your head on a swivel, all right? And if any storm is coming this way, let me know. You know how. Okay. Yeah. It's just another thing for us to, I don't know, fear I guess. Eh? India, you have to understand that there are consequences. Okay, you cannot just claim to be sovereign and then another entity just dictate stuff to you and you just do it. Like, seriously. Of course, go after the Israelites, huh? Go after the Hebrews, huh? That's what they're not telling you. They have it masked up into, I made a video about it a while back, right? It all comes down to sex, doesn't it? They're weighing, okay? How can you weigh while the conflict is still going on? Yeah, they went in there, and as usual, they discovered that it wasn't so accommodating. Let's just say that. For those who are. Why? Because a person is intentionally not feeding the masses. Not that there is a shortage of food in the world, but intentionally. Wow, this is like, remember a theory presented a couple years back talking about the politics of race or ethnicity. A new U.S. military investigation has revealed Trump and Pete Hegseth were likely responsible for bombing of Iranian girls. The more they say this, the more I am filled with disbelief. Right? Why? Because the Israelis are not in the conversation. What happened to the U.S.-Israeli attack? What happened to that talk? This seems to be like somebody taking responsibility for a thing they didn't do. Is it the case? That's my gut feeling as of now, and I just wanted to. They're putting too much effort into pounding this into our minds. That's what I think. This is what I'm saying. Too much effort, and I know these people's MOs. Believe me. Okay. Apparently, it's not like I trust the sun or anything, but even a dead clock is right twice a day. Hmm? Missile storage site, ballistic missile launchers, and military facilities. But aren't those mobile, like highly mobile? In Lebanon also. And of course, Hezbollah commanders were struck. What do they expect to come out of this? It's World War III in the Middle East, but still people are having Olympics. What does that tell you? I, I don't even know what to say to this. I don't. Some harsh words. Yeah, North Korea is out there sharpening their sword. At this point, just observing said sword should chop everything up. Just looking at it. Unprepared. Oh, really? Is that what we are going with? Yeah, like I said before. And of course, they say US issues waiver for India to buy Russian crude. Okay, so you were allowed. So much for sovereignty. I thought we are all about sovereignty. Is this the case? Well, shall see. Right? Again, the Jews done said that their biggest threat to them is the black community. Okay? Of course, the parrots have to parrot, right? Ahead of negotiations. This is a familiar pattern. We have seen this, I don't know, before every negotiation that there has ever been over there. Why do you think this is about? The flag, the superhero who wanna be worshipped as a god, and the flag over there. What does this image tell you? You see the halo? It's talking about a person. The narcissism in this movie is sickening. I couldn't even stand watching the whole thing. Iran Foreign Minister warns Trump Tehran is prepared for escalation. Iran Foreign Minister Abbas has warned US President Donald Trump that if he seeks escalation, Iran armed forces are prepared. Araghchi said in a statement that Iranian President Masoud Barzani openness to the escalation with the region has been immediately killed by Trump's misinterpretation of Iranian capabilities. Trump's week-long misadventure has already cost the U.S. military $100 billion, in addition to the lives of young soldiers, they said. Adding to that cost will be transferred to the ordinary Americans. He accused Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of duping the U.S. into fighting its war, including... Well, this is the problem that I have with this whole situation, this whole duping situation. I think it is a little bit more darker than that, yeah? With all this talk of the Armageddon and stuff. Yeah, he can say this. He can say this. Right? I'm at peace with those who are at peace with you. And I'm at war with those who are at war with you. Couldn't put it any other way. Of course, right? They have to ride that wave, right? And again, just before negotiations, Russia must not be wanting peace. This is 5% spending. Birmingham. Eh, yeah, happening on the low. Happening on the low. The Sudanese cannot catch a break. Saudi Arabia and RMS, Kuwait, Qatar discussing withdrawal from contracts with the U.S. and cancelling future investment commitments to the U.S. to alleviate some of the economic strains imposed on them by the Iranian war. So, no withdrawal of troops, huh? Also happening over there that is not being reported. Also, what is happening and what will this... Well, what I have to say to this, I remember I made a video a couple months back, and it was talking about, we were observing rather, the list of so-called critical infrastructure. Okay, you need to take a tiny book and write those down, right? You can Google them. Critical infrastructure. And if you see them checking out each one, they are very systematic, these people. Creatures of habit and all. So, again, a new level of escalation, in my opinion, because the water supply is not a military target, it's not a valid military target. The US committed a blatant and desperate crime by attacking terrorist attack by attacking a freshwater desalination plant in Qasem Island. Water supply in 30 villages have been impacted. Attacking one infrastructure is a dangerous move with grave consequences. Well, another thing, tunnels. Okay, out of there, in there, to supply, to maintain. Falling shrapnel kills man in Dubai, a Pakistani man. Talking about Pakistan. And again, I talk peacefully, but again, Pakistan with their nuclear weapons, if that's not a matter of conversation, then I don't know, right? People might, assume you're a threat, and preemptively. But they wouldn't dare. They wouldn't. Maybe use a proxy. After they attacked Iranian depots, right? And had images circulating around, right? So it is a wise decision, right? But again, clear messaging. If your country is not participating by allowing these people to launch attacks from your countries, then there won't be any problem. I think that's sensible enough, ain't it? Need to deploy these ones here to exhaust all of their little interceptors and stuff. If you allow them to launch attacks from your countries, then who even speaks like this? Quite familiar scene. Quite a familiar scene. You remember when the Yemen situation was going on, and BYD, if I'm not mistaken. So this is not a global effort. We did not send you to protect the world from Iran. You sent yourself. Mm? Mm. Cannot make this up. So we are going with 6, huh? This is what they say, right? So, you know, he needs that energy, you know. They consider this, I don't know, a prestigious achievement, I guess. UAE, you need to take back control of your country. Yeah, we all wish that, but the rabid demons that we're dealing with here is a problem. No self-control whatsoever. Just temper tantrum after temper tantrum after. So yeah, right, from what I've shown you, you can, I don't know, for yourself, determine what would probably be coming in the near future, right? But it's a struggle, right? It's a struggle, and it's not won until it's won. Okay, so keep at it. Keep at it. The whole world is watching, and of course, these people are not able to fool people anymore. That spell is broken. Okay, it's broken, and what is left is just their own delusion. So yeah, let me put a pin on it right there. And of course, we're gonna, or rather, I'm gonna speak to you when I speak to you, right? So until then, I'm gonna put a pin on it right there. Prince Easy signing out. Love you. Bye.